Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy, welcome to my world. This is a what could possibly go wrong live stream as I try to change my OBS configuration and my Twitch API integrations whilst I'm streaming with OBS and live on Twitch. Good morning, hello everyone, thank you for stopping by. Some of it's working despite the fact that I was a few minutes late starting because it was all on the floor and I couldn't stream at all. I will explain what's going on, but the crux of it is I'm going to be mostly looking today at Kruiz Control, which is a tool to automate OBS, integrate with Twitch, create chatbots and a whole lot more. So we're going to be doing a bit of that today, and I'm going to be doing it live to whatever I'm running at the moment. And there's that age-old thing about don't change anything just before you stream. I've changed everything before I stream, and I'm going to change a whole bunch more whilst I'm streaming. So I'm expecting this is going to fall over at some point, but you know, we'll deal with that when it happens. So good morning everyone, thanks for stopping by. So I should point, so we're going to be playing with Kruiz Control, and some of it is working because in the chat some things happened. For example, Paul was first up with saying hello in the stream, which generates this animation, and that worked. And the good thing is that that was triggered by Kruiz Control rather than Atom, which is what I have been using for a long time now. So I've got a bunch of new toys I'm going to share today that some of you may be interested in as viewers of Twitch as well. And I'm going to start with that first because I think it's interesting to take a little look. So we're just going to do this, and I found this here called, let's just make it a bit smaller and drag it down, Chatterino, which is a cross-platform chat client for Twitch. And I love it. So I'm now using this over here on the other screen as my way to keep tabs on what's going on in the chat, and it's much better than popping out the web browser chat client. So that's the first thing. So Chatterino, if you go and find that, it's worth a look. And I've been using that because I've been playing around with this chatbot stuff, and some of the chatbot stuff appears to be working as well. It's me, it could well be. I like it. There's a couple. There's another one called Chatty, but that's Java, and I just can't bring myself to do that to myself. So, yeah, so some of these chat integrations are working. And hey Gary, so I'll show you another feature of the chatbot, seeing as though Gary I know to be a streamer on this here Twitch. I've written, I have created my own shout out command, which is bang SO. So we're going to do a shout out to Gary's channel, and that looks something like this. If you're using the native Twitch client, you should see there's a little thumbnail embed in there, which makes it all look a little bit more prettier. So you can see what Gary's last stream was. Gary is revving up to, what is it, you forked Pigeon 3 in 2008, and in 2023 you're approaching your first alpha release. That's some impressive commitment to a project right there, I think. So that's 100% correct. I thought so. So Gary and I, another little chatbot integration that we have here is Gary and I are both on the Linux Downtime podcast, which you can find there. So Bang Podcast will give you the information to the podcast, and I think the last episode is the one we did about live streaming, in fact, and why there's some benefit to live streaming for projects and what have you. So the chatbot kind of works. Now I'm gonna type another command. Oh, actually I can't type this command in, but there is a command which is going to give the wrong information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reboot my chatbot, and I have a command here that I can type and only I can issue, and you're going to see the bot and hear it maybe reboot. There we go. So I've just given the bot a thunk on the head with a hammer, and the bot has reloaded. So someone who's going to be first to type in chat since the bot reload, I wonder. Let's find out. And when somebody has typed something, race to be first, there we go. So if somebody does bang first, we should see who was the first person to chat. There we go. So you were too slow off the mark. I was the first in chat today. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. I was supposed to exclude myself. So there's a bug I need to fix, but you get the you get the idea. The command Nuno to reboot the bot is actually bonk, bang bonk. But I mean, by all means, you can all try, but I don't think any of you will be able to run that command because it should be limited to just me, the broadcaster. So there we go, Gary's done it, and as you can see there's no sounds and my robot has not been smashed on the head. There we go, thank you all for trying it. Hello Tailored Dev, thank you all for trying it. So that seems to be working out. Yeah, you've all had a good go, and I will do it now. So it sounds like this. There we go, and that sound effect comes from my game Little Spy, which and I quite like it. I've been doing it a lot, so you're going to probably hear that sound a lot today. So bonk. There's a chatbot command that we should make with that one, King Egypt, so maybe that's something we should come back to. So why am I doing all of this? So I try to automate as much as I can in the live stream setup, because the fewer things you have to do manually, the easier it is to get up and go live. The problem is that I keep fiddling with things, which makes it harder to just get on and go live. So I'm going to share a couple of things that I've done. So I have been using Atom, which has been doing part of my stream automation, and that you just saw there is part of the automation that I have in place, and we'll see how that works just now. So this is the advanced scene switcher from my live running OBS. This is where Martin treads very carefully around the UI. So this is a plugin that you can install on Windows, Linux and Mac, and it's built into my OBS Studio portable builds. And you can see here there's a whole bunch of macros that I've created that do certain things. So for example, if I run the, it's probably difficult to see, but I will run the hello animation manually. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but try and watch the background. You should see my lights are flashing in the background. So I don't know if you can make that out, but they're flashing red and gold whilst that's going on, which is very exciting for me. Sadly, you don't get to see much of it. But that is controlled by this here, the light up words. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen, aren't I? Light up words. So this says if any of these sources are visible, then basically run this shell script, which is what I've written to. There we go. So I can't pronounce your username, but Masquerade, Pyrus Masquerade just ran the oops there, and that, you know, kicks off the animation, and Kruiz Control is issuing that animation control to OBS, and then I'm using Advanced Scene Switcher here to run the lights. Now, all of these things to do with lights and Twitch bits and follows, I'll be moving that the triggering of that back to Kruiz Control, but not today. But this is from things I've learned. And then if you see here, we've got this hide stats and show stats. I originally had separate scripts for this, but it's now all being controlled by these macros. So if I put my mouse up here, you'll see it fades out, and that's being controlled. You can see these go green as they get triggered. So Ripper is this computer I'm using. So as I move the mouse up onto this area here, it automatically hides those. That's in case I need to get up here to any of these window controls. You can see what's going on. And similarly, if I was to maximize the windows over here, it triggers off these show chat rules to hide and show the chat. So if I wanted to go full screen and I needed to show something that's behind the chat here, it does window dodging in the stream. So Esme has found bug number 1. She's issued the bang commands command, which I need to document all of this, and it's a growing list of stuff. But also, because it's a Linux thing, you can do bang man as well, which will do the same thing. So part of the automation is using advanced scene switcher now, but most of it is in Kruiz Control. And this is Kruiz Control here, or at least this is the project for it. So how does this work? You embed a local browser source. So you download this tarball, which is a bunch of JavaScript and an HTML thing. You embed that as a browser source somewhere in your OBS, and then you can go off and start writing rules in a sort of a very primitive language it's got, and it will then execute those, and it's pretty fantastic actually. So we're going to be taking a look at some of the rules. So you can't man the individual. Oh, that's quite good though, Esme. I like that. Man the actual commands. So we'll have a think about that. Now, because I was using Atom before, there's a couple of things that Atom could do. And in fact, there's something I'm going to have to do in just a moment because I don't know if it works yet. Atom could do a whole bunch of chat command controls, like put the chat into slow mode and unique chat only and stuff like that, which I've used to create the panic room to basically, you know, well, I tell you what, let's go to the panic room now. We'll go to the panic room. This is for those occasions when a spam bot turns up. We can go into the panic room. It looks like this, and what should be happening in the background is that slow mode has been turned on. Only followers that have been following for 5 days can comment, and unique chat mode is on, and it stays like this whilst I deal with the situation. And then once we've dealt with whatever the issue was, we can come out of panic mode and it returns the chat to normal operation. There we go. And you can see that interesting. I think something worked there which I didn't realize was going to work. So as you can see, that is a way to sort of, you know, use a bunch of automation. Now, as it happens, a lot of what's happening there at the moment is being issued through chat commands, and those are these slash sort of auto mod went crazy. Yeah. Hello Padger, how you doing? Good to see you again. So Paul, there is something like that now, and it's called Shield, I think, which does a similar thing. I obviously created my panic room some time ago, and I'm keeping it because it's mine. But here's the rub. A lot of this chat integration works over an IRC API, and Twitch are deprecating a bunch of functionality over that IRC API, such as turning those different chat controls on and off. So I want to keep that capability, so I'm going to continue my journey into implementing the Twitch API in Kruiz Control so that I can continue to do what's going on. Now, I need to ask a favour. This will only take 30 seconds. But there will be some of you here who are not subscribers, which is fine. Absolutely fine. In fact, very handy for what's about to happen. And are not using ad blockers. So it's you that I'm asking for your help right now. I am going to try and run a 30-second advert. I'm not going to do this a lot, I promise. I just want to make sure it works. Because if it works, it means that the API integration stuff I'm about to work on, the rest of it should work as well. So for those of you that are not subscribers and aren't using ad blockers, I would like you to let me know in chat if indeed an advert ran. So I'm going to run or try to run a 30-second commercial.
Thanks for the resub, Paul and the nerd.
Thank you, Paul. That's very kind. And it's good that that worked because that was all managed by Kruiz Control as well. Oh, I see. And there's another bug. There's another bug there, so it shouldn't have tried to do that without a message that follows. So it should show up in the mod dashboard too. Okay, well, let's find out. I don't know what the mod dashboard is. I'm a terrible streamer. We are... Nope, that fell over. So there we go. Oh no, the Twitch API called failed while running the commercial. So there we go. I know that didn't work. Bother. Oh well. So we'll figure that out. Let's take a look at what this Kruiz Control stuff looks like. So we'll drop in here. This is the project, but what I'm going to be looking at is this sort of thing here. And here we have our first command that we were just talking about, which is the by default it's called KC reset, but you can create aliases. So I've created the alias Bonk, and it sends a chat message. So what this means is, on receiving a chat command, which is one of these two commands here, from the broadcaster and only the broadcaster, and it has no cooldown, it will send into chat this message. It will then play at 100% volume and wait for the audio to complete this audio file, which is in the sounds directory of Kruiz Control, and then it will issue the reset command. And the reset command basically causes Kruiz Control to reload all of its rules. Okay, thank you, Tommy. That's interesting feedback. So Tommy said that as we anticipated, it didn't work at all, but it did cause the stream to stutter for a second. Well, let's see if we can do better and break the stream entirely, or make the thing work. I'm not going to try and endlessly run adverts whilst I fix this. I will, though, try and get some of the other bits and pieces working. So, let's have a little think. What was I working on? So I've got this. So over here, oh dear, I'm in the wrong virtual screen. Here we go. That we have this file called file triggers, and it basically loads these text files of Kruiz Control rules. So here is my ChatBot file. These aren't keys, by the way. There's no private information in these files. There are keys that you have to set up, but you won't be seeing any of that today, I hope. So this is my chatbot. So this is a fairly comprehensive chatbot. We'll take a look at some of that. This is some OBS integration stuff mostly. So this is when I've created my own action called drop, so that I can automate my playing of the drop game during the start screen. So it looks like it's me, but it's really not. It's my bot doing it on my behalf, but also giving newcomers helpful commands about how the game works. And then we've got some events here for when we go on a break, what it's going to try and do. and you can see here one of the things is if I go into the break, it tries to run a 30-second commercial, which, as we've just seen, doesn't work right now. But you get the idea. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here of what Kruiz Control will do when reacting to things that happen in OBS. So, you know, muting audio and stuff like that as I move between scenes. Oh yes, you can't forget your cup of tea. In fact, here's another command that exists in the bot commands. There's one simply bang tea, and that tells you that, you know, Paul has got an excellent list of quality teas that you can find out about. So I do need to document all of this stuff because there's a lot in here. These are all rules where so here's the panic room. Okay, so we should clear the chat, although I didn't see that happen when I went into the panic. Oh, maybe I did. No, I didn't. That didn't work. Because this has changed. That should now be action. It's called something. If I go and look over here, because this is it. I'm literally in the middle of this. There we go. It's now called delete chat messages. So we'll go and look at how this works in just a moment, but it's that. So the first thing it should do is clear the chat history for non-moderators, and that obviously didn't work. We then spit out some messages. Oh, and this is also new. This has changed. So it didn't actually do the announcement thing, because that is now an action called, I hope, chat announcement. There it is. Well, I'll explain what these do in a moment. So we're just fixing this one. So we could go back and actually make this work. And then here you can see I'm sending these chat commands to limit what you can do in chat. And what I'm going to try and do is replace these chat commands, which are going to be deprecated from 3 weeks from now. Or not deprecated, they're currently deprecated. They will stop working on the 23rd of February. It's important to point out they will only stop working for bots using the IRC API. For people actually on Twitch in the chat, these / commands will work, but you can't trigger them from a bot anymore. So I'm going to be writing my own API implementations for these using Kruiz Control. That's what we're going to be doing today. So there was some more here as we leave the panic room. So that's all good. So this is action. And this is where my knowledge on Kruiz Control is a bit sketchy, because I prefer actions because I can do more with the parameters I pass in, and with messages it's not so clear, but we'll figure it out. And sending markers as well, so we'll have to review all of this. So I've got some actual commands that can trigger the start and end of these things, and I can even switch scenes as well. So I can use bang main, and you'll see that I switch back to that view, and I can use bang code in chat, and I can switch back here. So the reason I've implemented that is that at some point I may want to extend some control over scene transitions to moderators, like if I forget to do stuff. So that's the sort of OBS stuff, and then I've got a test here that basically fires off a bunch of stuff. And there we go. We need to take this and change our announcement stuff in here. Because I can see I'm going to need to invoke it in a different way. I've lost them. So you need to say which user is doing these things. And I think that needs to have... So maybe we're going to the panic room once more to see if we can get it to do everything correctly. Looks like we may go in there a couple of times today. So let's do that as well. Okay. Well, let's save that. We'll reboot the bot, and we'll then see if the panic room works correctly. So, Tommy, I'm not going to become a full-time streamer. I'm going to try and get to the point where I do more streaming, but it's not going to be a full-time endeavor. Oh, King Egypt, yes. I have found like ones you can schedule, tease maids that you can program to come on at the right time of day. Right then, okay, we've rebooted the bot, so let's just go and see if it works. So I'm gonna trigger it with the chat command. So let's see what happens. Okay, I can see that it did not clear the chat, so I'm clearly not doing that correctly. And I say I'm not doing that correctly, it could be it's just not going to work because I'm trying to use these actions, and so I'll exit that panic room. Oh. Did that run an advert? See you, Tommy. Thanks for stopping by. I didn't get an error to say that the announcement worked, so that's good. Huh. Interesting. Okay, Cyrenin, thank you very much for confirming that. Okay, Tailored Dev, thank you. So that did trigger an advert that time. How curious. Okay. So I've clearly got bugs. Let's go. I don't want to keep running adverts for I didn't save this, did I? Okay, well, let's do that. So in the panic room, it's not that one that we should be looking at, it's this one, isn't it? So going into the panic room, we called action chat announcement, and then no, up here, message send commercial 30. So that worked apparently, but when we bring the stream up, it didn't work. Maybe it didn't recognize that the stream was up yet. Maybe that was the issue. Okay. Let's do finding here commercial. No, it's not in that one. Oh, this is. I need to consolidate a bunch of this stuff as well. There are 4 commercials here. Here we go. Break. Message send commercial. Okay, problem. Fine. Here we go. So this one, I don't think enough time has elapsed here. So if that, I think in the old one, we maybe waited 30 seconds. So maybe we'll do that before we run the advert. Something like that. There we go. Okay. But you can see here how I'm using the bot to automate some of the bring up of the stream. So this is my scenes as it goes through the animations, but you can see here, here we go. That needs to change. So that should be action. I know why the other thing didn't work as well now. So that should be action, delete chat messages, and that should have the Twitch, I think it's user ID, I think is what I need to do. Gosh, this is going to become a colossal mess. I need to simplify some of this. We'll figure that out in due course. And Tommy says, by the way, when we see me on Nix OS, I may have Nix OS installed on something. So it's very soon. So, gosh, let's think now. Twitch user ID. So if we go and look at this one here, where, oh no, it was this one, the bottom of this one. Yeah, we'll need to do that. Twitch user, not Twitch user ID. Yep, you're not wrong, whoever did that. Paul. So this is good. At least, so these redemptions, this is all happening through Kruiz Control. And this was the thing that I couldn't test whilst I was offline and was most concerned wasn't going to work, because there's a weird, well, there's a message in the log file to suggest that the permissions for it was that 120, there we go. So it's just Twitch user, and we need to do that. So we need to load the Twitch user variable into this action in order that I can trigger it there. So that should fix that one. And maybe that might fix the, give the stream enough time to detect that it's up, so that when I say trigger a commercial, it works. So thank you for those of you that have sat through a 30-second advert unnecessarily. Now, what was the other thing I did which didn't send an advert? That was the 2 panic room things, right? But they're both working now. Okay, well, I'm not going to run another advert. I don't want to do that to people. But thank you for your patience on that one. Yeah, hey, is it Super Ice Haze? There we go. Welcome to the stream. So if you type bang sup Super Ice Haze, well, I'm working on a chatbot and stuff, and I'm going to be implementing some of the Twitch API in the chatbot to handle the situation with the chat IRC commands being removed. So Pink is pretty. Hello, welcome to the stream. They say, will you be running Nix OS or just the package manager? So on my established Ubuntu workstations, of this is one in front of me right now, I'm going to be running Nix, the tool, more than just a package manager, to get up to speed with using Nix for dev environments and home manager and stuff like that. But my laptop, I'm going to be moving over to Nix OS properly, and I will eventually move all of my machines over to Nix OS, is the plan. Right, okay, there we go. Oh, how are we pronouncing that? Darknet. Darknet dipshit. There we go. I've managed to decipher it. Very good. So you've run bangs up, and that should give you a summary of what we're here to do today. So that's part of what the bot is doing as well. So actually, this is going okay. It's just trying to unpick the bugs. Right then, how is the project? So Darknet dipshit. I'm just going to call you Darknet from now on, okay? I don't know if you know, but I had to take a break at the end of last year for several weeks, and I'm only just getting back into things, so there hasn't been much progress on Butterfly since I created the build environment for it. I will be getting back to that, but one of the reasons why I'm interested in Nix so much is because creating the dev environments for different Flutter versions, which we need to do, and building stuff is going to be a whole lot easier with Nix. So I'm kind of pushing the Flutter stuff out into the future a little bit in order to get a handle on the Nix stuff, and then it's going to be Nix that unlocks the potential of doing the development on there. So I see Gary's trying to play the drop game. The drop game is not enabled in this main view. So I was thinking of maybe adding a channel point so that people can request a game of Parachute Drop and stuff like that. Hello Noob of the Linux, welcome back. Yeah, so Rocket Wolf makes a good point that Brave has a lot of ad blocking stuff built in by default, and Brave is my default web browser, which is why I was relying on everyone else to tell me what was going on, because there's two things. First of all, on the home network, we've got the AdGuard DNS baked into the network, so we've got tracker and ad blocking just on in the house, and then of course I use Brave as well, so I really can't, I'm a terrible candidate for determining what's actually working and stuff like that. So yeah, Rocket Wolf, it's a good point. Right then, so Tommy says it didn't show up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's what Noob the Linux says. Ever done Linux from scratch? A long time ago. Basically, when I started with Linux, that was the only way to Linux. But I have done Linux from scratch. I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, just for funsies. I felt I needed to just go back through it. It's an excellent learning exercise. I did learn or relearn a few things by doing that. So Rocket Wolf, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pi-hole. I really like AdGuard. AdGuard's got a solution to run on your Raspberry Pis or DNS services that you can just configure on your routers as well. I really like AdGuard. It's ace. So if you're using Pi-hole and it's working for you, brilliant. If you've ever thought about setting up a Pi-hole, I'd encourage people to actually go and look at the AdGuard tool that you can put on a Raspberry Pi. It's pretty amazing. Is Gen 2 the new Linux from scratch? No, it's not. No. Right then. Let's have a little think. So let's get back here. This, now we're starting to see sort of what I'm going to be doing here. So this chat announcement here. So you can see here I've set up a command that the okay, the broadcaster and moderators, it seems to suggest. Gosh, did I really do that? I don't think this is going to work for moderators. If a moderator wants to try this, but by all means. But if I do bang announce and just say this is an announcement, there we go. There we go. So those of you that are in the Twitch chat should be able to see that that is a highlighted announcement. So I did that by creating this command, issuing bang announce, and then this sends on to this action here the user that issued the command and whatever they typed as the message. So this is where I then do a bunch of API nonsense in order to get that going. So the first bit of API nonsense is to turn the user name into a user ID. So we use deck API to do that. And then and that's taking from the first input parameter, and this is a convention in Kruiz Control. The parameters are just automatically numbered. So the first input parameter is in 1 and the second input parameter is in 2, which is the message. So then at this point I load the user variables. There's a whole bunch of variables that I'm using for things like the bearer key and my broadcaster client ID. And what we do is we first of all clear this API. I'm not sure what to call it. Declaration. So we make sure there isn't one. We then tell this API request what URL we're going to hit, and this is straight from the Twitch API docs, which we're going to take a look at in a moment. What method we're using, it's a post, how we're authenticating, and then what the payload is, and then we send it, and then we just look here for the return code effectively of that API call to see whether it worked or not. And I'll just say here, while making an announcement. So I'm just doing this just so I get some feedback as to when these things fail, what goes wrong. And here's the clear one, you know, in chat I can just do bang clear. There we go. That did work, didn't it? So Phil did a mod testing the announcement and that worked. So nice one, Phil. Thank you for testing that. Amazingly, I got that I got that bit of code right. So what that was doing here is taking Phil's username here, which gets pulled in as the first parameter, looks up Phil's username and turns that into the user number, and it saves that variable as moderator ID, and then as per the Twitch docs. Oh no, look. It didn't do the right thing at all. Right then, let's see if this is gonna work. This may not work. Phil, you might have to stand by and do this again. Let's try this. We'll save that moderator ID and we'll bounce the bot, or bonk it even. Oh, there it is. And when it comes back online, there we go. So Phil, could you try that again? Let me know. Let's see if that works this time. I've got a feeling it might not. I'd hard-coded my broadcaster ID in there. Yeah, that failed. Okay, so I'm going to revert that change. So clearly that's not working as intended. So I haven't got that right. We need to figure out why. I thought that should work, but apparently not. So we'll still allow moderators to issue the command, but actually when it flows down here, it's executing it as me. So we'll just reload the bot again, because, well, in case anyone does need to use that, it will at least work now. So the chat clearing should also work for moderators, but I bet I'm gonna say that didn't work. Okay, that probably won't work for moderators for the same reason. By all means, Phil, if you want to try doing bang clear, it will be interesting to see if that works for you. I can see you've issued the command and it failed. Yeah, okay, so this bit of the API doesn't, I don't know why that doesn't work yet. I was of the impression that it should work, but apparently not. So I'll just do it like that so that moderators can do that, and we'll reload. Kiri Knight says I should get some work done. There we go. So that will now work, but it's not, I don't think it's correct. I think it's a bit of a hack doing it that way. And then there was some here for changing the title of the stream and stuff, and this did work when I was testing it, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And changing the directory of the game, and this is, you know, poking at the Twitch API. And this, we now know, does in fact work. So that's good. So, oh, and we've got markers. So apparently I can place a marker. Let's just see if this works. I don't get an error message, so I assume that's worked. How do I know? Can I see that in the dashboard anywhere? I don't appear to be able to see that. Well. Kiri Knight, you like the bonk command, do you? Yeah, I like it too. I got the idea from a friend of mine for resetting things with a bonk command. So it didn't trigger an error, so I don't know how I check to see if there are markers, but what the heck is this? Just missed that. Lamau got picked up as swearing. Hey Cassie Dev, I'm very well. How are you doing? Right then, we're not going to go down here, so let's go and have a look at the Twitch API because I want to implement a few of these commands. So this is the migration guide for chat commands that are being deprecated through the old IRC API and how to use the new Helix web API. You like the sound? If you like that sound, you might like my game. So, how do I find that? It's not there. It's Wimpy's World, isn't it? I can't remember if it's hyphenated. Let's just go here. Let's put this... Oh, in fact, I wonder if I can do it. I wonder if I've got a chat command for this. Is it... No, I don't have chat commands for that. Okay. So this is the game, Little Spy here, and it's available on itch. I did this for a game jam a little while ago. And that sound is from the game. So there you go. If anyone wants to have a play. Look, there's a game that I wrote in 2 weeks for a game jam. All the source code, as you saw, all the source code is available on GitHub. It's MIT licensed. It's written in Godot. Yeah, I do. In fact, if you type bang commands noob of the Linux, you'll see what's going on there. Right then. So, no, not bad. Just exclamation mark commands. You're welcome, Pyrus. Right then, so the ones that I want to implement, there we go, noob the Linux. So I'm aware, I know it needs doing. So the ones I want to implement are these ones: emote only, follower only, slow mode, subscriber mode, unique chat, and if I get there, timeout. So if I do all of these chat settings ones, then that should enable the panic room to continue to function. And the timeout is, I've got, I saw a snippet for Kruiz Control in their Discord, which was kind of clever, and it looks for, there's an action which looks for every first message from a user. And it uses that to say if an account types and it's younger than a certain amount of hours, time them out for a number of hours automatically, because like newly created accounts could well be spammers, and I've implemented that, and it would be kind of nice to put another level of protection in. So that's something I'm thinking of doing. Right then, so let's have a look. I'm really liking this Chatterino. This is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, auto shoutouts, Gary. You make a good point. As I was explaining what it did, I was just thinking I could do that as well. Maybe that's something to develop another day. Create a list of greetings and automatically greet people with a random greeting as they say, you know, say something in chat the first time they chat that day or that stream. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. So let's go and take a look. Let's start with just opening up this. I think all of them are documented here, and we'll just have a think about what this is going to look like. So we've basically got follower mode, that has a duration. Okay. We've got slow mode, which has a wait time. Okay, so we've got like slow mode on. We've got, well, on could be just slow mode and the, what do they call it? The wait time. And then slow mode off. So I think what we'll do is start to sketch out what these commands are going to look like in VS Code. So let's go and put all of these together. I think we'll put them together with this. This was a temporary test thing. I'm going to get rid of that and delete it from my test API thingy. There we go. We'll get rid of that there. So let's think. We're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need, I think we'll just yellow this a little bit. So we're going to need on command, and this is going to be broadcaster only, I think, maybe for the time being. We don't want any cooldown, and we'll call this what were the original chat commands? Let's look at what the original chat commands were called. So that's what we'll call these. Well, oops, that was bad. We're going to create that. So emote only. And emote only off. What could we do for the time being? We could just stub these with this sort of thing. I'm not going to start running these yet. We'll actually try and get them functional before we do anything. But there we go. There's the first two. And then the next ones are going to be, if we go back to the API, followers and followers off. Oops, I've done it again. I think it was followers like that, wasn't it? Followers off. Okay, that's those two, I think. Bang keyboard. What's that? What do you expect that one to do new with the Linux? I'm asking because I did go looking around at like common commands that people expect to exist in, you know, streams, and I've implemented some of the more aliased appropriate alternatives. Okay. I will do something like that. The closest thing I have, but I don't have that information in there, is bang kit or bang gear, which will give you the link to my kit.co page. There we go. And I will put my keyboards in there, and then we can alias that command to that one and get some stuff sorted that way. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. Right then, so followers off. Let's go and take a look at these, and the next one we want to do is slow and slow off. There we go. And subscribers off. So let's just put that in there. Okay. And then there's unique as well. So what I'm thinking is these should all be fairly similar. And we'll get them implemented. There we go. So that is Hayden's book, Gary. You're absolutely right. Yes. So we'll just take those there. We'll do that, and we'll put a slow. Slow mode, and then slow off. So we'll do subscribers. And subscribers off. There we go. There's that one done, and then unique. So that's going to be basically like slow, isn't it? Oops. Okay. So most of the way I've seen this Kruiz Control syntax is it's not indented, and I find it impossible to read and track what's going on, which is why I have it always indented, because it doesn't seem to affect how it works, but it makes it all a lot more readable and understandable as to what's going on. So we'll do that, and there we go. So that's our initial stubs, but what we actually want to do here is probably have a bunch of actions for these. So because if we look at like clear here, we have the thing that picks up the command, and then we hand it off to another action, and that's because I want to be able to not just issue these commands, I want to be able to call them programmatically. Right then, hey Charafu. Oh, Charafu's just left us, that's a shame. So yes. Right then, so let's now create some actions for each of these and call those actions instead. So we'll have on action unique chat. Maybe we'll just do this to make it a little bit more readable. And let's think about this. We need to look at the API to see how this API is going to get constructed, I think. So let's go and have a look at that. And conveniently, they put up some curl examples here, which is sort of a good starting place to sort of grab the thing here. So follower mode false. Slow mode. True. So I wonder if we could just do the MVP at the moment and not bother doing the wait times. Yes, that would be the easiest thing to do, wouldn't it? So no restrictions. Okay, so we do need non-moderator chat delay. Oh, this is actually quite comprehensive. Okay, we're going to have to probably implement a subset of these to get there going at the first. So possible values are 3 second delay to 120. The default is okay. Slow mode wait time defaults to 30 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Does follower mode duration? Oh, that means if you enable follower mode, anyone that's followed is a follower regardless of how soon. Okay. Well, we could just go with the easy option here. True. Okay, true or false. Okay, and it's true or false. Okay. So slow mode is also true or false. So what we'll do is we'll do the MVP implementation. We'll just have each of these as send a true or false option like this. So we'll just copy that out and drop it in here. And I'll put that here as my reference. And then we'll just copy one that I did earlier because some of this stuff is going to be kind of the same. Copy that. Oops. So we're going to need to pass just one thing to it, which is going to be the on and off. Right, so what is it? It's a patch method, and we'll call this API unique chat. This one. Hey, Quantum Garage, how you doing? Yeah, I'm just getting back into it. This is hopefully the point at which I'm gonna start. I did stream earlier in the week and a little bit last week. That needs a correction. So this, getting all of this stuff sorted will mean that all of the fabric of everything I need to stream routinely is working. And then I'll still got to finish some debget stuff, and I've still got to finish some quick MU stuff. But then I really want to get to the Nix stuff. That said, this has just captured my interest recently, messing around with this Kruiz Control, and it's remarkable how capable it is. So this is the thing that I just want to be doing for fun at the moment. So that's why I'm doing this right now. Failed, and this is going to be process turning unique chat check failed processing unique chat. So that's just so if it fails, I can see very visibly that it fails. So this is going to be chat settings, broadcaster moderator ID again. So I've put in my IDs in there. So it's only this chat settings bit, isn't it, that is going to be different. So we can have chat settings like so. Patch, so we've got the bearer. These are bogus keys. These have just come out of the Twitch docs. We don't need to care about that. So instead of follower mode, I think this is going to be let's just get that API down here. What we're going to be doing is, I wonder if I could send two things. I could turn this in from unique chat. I could turn this into chat settings. Well, I could make it kind of generic. Let's do that for now. Let's call this chat settings, like so, to reflect where the API URL goes. API. Let's just change all of this now. And we will then use this as a generic action for all of the chat settings stuff. So we're going to pass this to parameters. We're going to also, I need to load a variable. I need to load that variable there. That's so that these here can be accessed, and also these here. So we'll now do, got two inputs coming in. We've got in one, which is going to be the chat the chat mode, chat setting. And then we're going to have a second thing, which is going to be the status, basically true or false, to turn it on and off. So do I need to do any parsing of that? I think we'll just make it brittle at the moment. We won't do anything clever with that. We will just say that we are going to then add an API settings, and this is going to be called let's think. Yeah, that's right. This is going to be in one, which is going to be the mode, and then this is going to be in2, which is going to be the toggle, whether it's true or false. So let's try and do this. Let's try and do one of these, and instead of doing that, we will call action chat settings. I think it's going to be unique something, and that's going to be true to enable it. And then this one is going to be the inverse of that. We just need to go and find out what that so let's go and look at the docs for this very quickly. Are we doing unique? We are, aren't we? I didn't see that in here. Unique chat mode. There we go. So mode. So we'll call that something like mode to just tidy up what we're doing here. So that's the mode that we want to affect. So now what we'll do here is we will say something like variable set chat mode is going to be equal to in1, and mode status is going to be in2, and then we'll change these so that it's a little bit more clear what the heck's going on. Well, actually it's not status, it's state, isn't it? So let's just do that. Okay, so we've got two parameters. I think that's how you do it. Noob of the Linux. You're not seeing any you're confused by not seeing the semicolon at the end at line endings. Is that what you're saying? Oh, looks like featured chat has decided to stop playing. Bother. Curious. I don't. There's not that many languages that I use these days that have semicolons on the end of them. You're mostly a JS developer by any chance, Noob of the Linux? So let's go with that. And if I save that and reboot my bot, there we go. Let's see if I can invoke unique chat, which I should just be able to do like that. No, that failed. Okay, what did I get wrong here? Oh, that's what I've got wrong. That should be something like, yeah, API data. There we go. Let's try fixing that. Have to reboot our bot again. Let's try that again. Unique chat. Yes, it worked. Now, you won't know it's worked, but I can see through the amazing Chatterino, I can see those status messages changing. Hello, Popey. How you doing? Thanks very much for stopping by. So, are you trying to do duplicate messages there, Gary? If so, thank you. Everyone, if you want to try and type the same message twice, then yeah, hopefully it should only let through the first message, which is the original. Yes, happy Friday, Popey. Happy Friday to you too. So I think that's working. So I mean, yep, it failed to put the duplicate. Yep, brilliant. That's excellent, Gary. Thank you for confirming that. So awesome. This is terrific. So there we go. So I'm going to say unique chat off now. But Phil, you're Phil and Popey, you are moderators, so you are exempt from those there rules, so that it is still working as intended. For example, when I clear the chat, or when the bot clears the chat, it doesn't clear the chat for the moderators, so we can still go in, find the spammy messages and deal with the people what did it. So I'm going to turn the unique chat off, and it tells me it's gone off, and so that API is working, and I'm rather happy because I've managed to make a generic one now, which we should be able to just go through and wang this in various places. So let's just put all of this in the right place, like so. So that should be a false. That should be a false one. That should be a false one. And that should be a false one. And then we'll put all of the true statements in. There we go. And we'll then go through and find the correct field that we need to pass. So for emote only, let's go and find out what that is called in the docs. So emote mode is what that one's called. So emote mode. Okay, emote mode. Well, I think this was follow mode. We'll just go. I'll just type this in, but I'll go and check that in a moment. But I think that's what we just saw. So save that. Just come over here. Follow mode, yes, and we're going to ignore this follow mode duration for the moment. We're doing the MVP of this API implementation. Non-moderator chat delay. I wonder if you can. There we go. And then we've got slow mode. So we'll do slow mode and subscriber mode. Looks like the next two. So this one's going to be called slow mode. Slow mode. And this one is slow mode. Right. And this one is subscriber mode. Okay, is that all of them? I think that's all of them, isn't it? So, okay. Right then. let's reboot our bots then and see if any of this works. Okay. Right then. So let's reboot the bot. There we go. And Rogue or Bruges. Right then. So I'm going to put the chat in emote only mode, I hope. Which means that mode is now enabled, so that worked. You should only be able to, other than mods, you should only be able to message it in the art form of emotes. So Paul managed to type test. I wonder why that is. Who is Paul the moderator or is Paul special? Let's go. Maybe it's working as advertised. Let's see now. So yeah, Paul can definitely. Oh, hang on a minute. Paul can type words because Paul's a VIP. So I wonder if VIPs are exempt from this emote only nonsense. Obviously, Popey is because he's a moderator. So let's just go and read the documentation and see if which one are we looking at? Emote mode. Okay, well that I mean it doesn't say here, but I'm gonna assume that means it seems to be working for most people, right? Okay, so I'm going to emote off. Oh, Popey redeemed a thing. This is all working through this new thing. So emote off didn't see that come back in the. I think that didn't work. Let's go and check our thing. So emote mode. Oh, emote only. I typed the wrong command in. So I'm going to. There we go. Leave that. There we go. So that all should be working now. Excellent. Good. Hey, Mix the Pick. So Mix the Pig has just run the sup command, which again is managed by this bot to try and give useful information. So we'll try now follower only mode, which should mean that excluding moderators, only followers. Followers, is that the command? Yeah, just followers. Oh, that's not helpful. This isn't going to work. There we go. I've got a competing namespace. There we go. So I have a thing called followers already in my bot commands. So oh balls indeed, Paul. I have a name collision in my commands. So what am I going to do about that? I might just rename these. So we've got emote only. I might just call it followers only. And followers only off. And follow that convention. So let's reboot our robot. Everyone's favourite sound. There it is. Right then. And we'll try that again. So followers only. Oh. I don't think that's worked. So followers only. On command, followers only, follow mode. Did I... That... So, Pyrus, the reason why I'm not going to rename the other one is apparently that's a common command that... So, bang followers is a common command people kind of expect to find. Apparently, is what I read. So, that's why I'm changing this one, because these are like moderation commands, so they're only for me. I've misspelled followers. Have I? No. Follow. Yes, you're right. I see it now. But that one is correct. So let's just reboot the robot again. Follow age should work. Let's reboot the bot and see what we get. Okay, bot is online. Followers only. No, why is that not working? It's interesting that follow age doesn't work either, because that should be in here. Let's, if it's not, we'll add that very quickly, because that should be in ChatBot. It should be one of these many things here. Account age, here we go. I can just add an alias. Follow age, that's what Gary expects to find. So there we go. Let's reboot the bot, and then Gary can run account age and that or follow age, whichever one he was issuing. It should then work as he expects. This is quite useful, people banging in the commands that they expect to work. Why is this not working though? There we go. Need with a little follow age. There we go. That's curious. So Noob of the Linux worked, but Gary's didn't. What? Oh, there is a cooldown. There is a cooldown. Well spotted, Esme. 60 seconds. That's probably too much, isn't it? That's probably okay to be lower. Right. That's something I'm going to need to think about, is which of these commands do actually need to be like aggressively rate limited. Well done, Esme. You win a prize. Although I am still confused why this one's not working. I'm just going to skip over followers only for the moment. Unless follow mode is not the right thing. Follower. Oh, follower mode. There we go. Okay, there we go. That should now, we'll give that a bonk. And now we'll try and put it in followers only mode. So this we should see the followers only. There we go. There we go. Now it's in followers only mode. So let's see who can't talk now. So we're going to allow that. There we go. I don't know why it keeps blocking Lamau. In fact, nobody's chatting, so is nobody a follower? Okay, well, it seems to work. Follower signing in. There we go. There we go. There we go. So there are some followers here. Very good. Very good. Not just a follower pool, but a VIP, no less. Okay, right then. So that appears to work. So let's turn that off and get chat flowing again. And there we go. It's no longer in follower only mode, it says. That's good. So let's try slow mode. Okay. So we're going to, let's do slow and slow off. That seems fair. I think we'll just keep those. So it's in slow mode. You may only send a message every 30 seconds. So please try and spam the chat now, and hopefully that won't work. Thank you very much for joining in the effort here. Right then, okay. So some of you, Paul is a VIP, so Paul appears to be exempt. Auto mod held a message here. Ooh, why is that? I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow it through. Okay. There we go. Very good. So you can still redeem channel points. Okay. Right then. Hi, Sika. So you got that picked up as a naughty word. I've let it through. I'm not going to be offended by that. Right then. So slow mode appears to work, I think. Those of you that are not... no, all of you that are not moderators should have been affected by that. So we'll turn slow mode off. And that tells me that it is now off. So apparently you can all go crazy again. Oh, we can really limit the thing. So subscriber mode. I don't think there's any subscribers in here at the moment because there are so few. Hey Luke, I've added a message in the gaming channel on Discord for a session on Sunday. Okay, so Luke makes a good point. Come on, featured chat. Oh, featured chat's not behaving. How annoying. Right, so Luke, you'll see there has said about a message. So first of all, the Discord that he's referring to is this one. This is also bot-controlled magic. There we go. So that's the Discord, and we're trying to get our racing group back together. And so Luke has posted in the gaming channel on that there Discord to try and organise a session for Sunday, which sounds like a brilliant idea to me. So yeah, I'll be looking at that a bit later. Okay then, let's have a look here. Oh, what was held up this time? Booty. Oh, I'm going to allow that. How curious. Some of the words that are getting stopped. Yeah, got censored. Yeah, okay, right then. So now we're going to put it in subscribers only. We'll change the name of this to subscribers only. And oh, subscribers off only. Off, there we go. So let's see if this works. I don't know that there are any subscribers who are not moderators already here. So subscribers only. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work. So I've got a bug here. So let's go and first of all check what the parameter should be that we should pass through the API. It is subscriber mode. Copy. Is that not what I have? That looks to be the correct thing. Subscribers only. Did I? Let's just copy this and make sure that I'm... Let's save that. Oh, hang on a minute. I think I know what one might be. I think I needed to reboot my bot, didn't I? I think I made a change in the text there, but I didn't bonk the bot. There we go. Let's try subscribers only again now. Subscribers only. There we go. That's worked. So, I think other than moderators, nobody will be able to chat right now. Because, Paul is a subscriber. I think, yes, because you subscribed early. Oh, hey. Okay, so there are several subscribers. Oh, gosh, I'm seeing the messages come through. That's good. Okay. So, well, I'm going to assume that there are people watching who are not subscribers that are trying to type things and they're not coming through. I'm going to turn it off and you can confirm or deny if you were unable. So subscribers mode is off. So did you try and send a message and were you prevented from doing so? Thank you, Gary. Brilliant. Okay, so all of those now work. We've tested all of them. Unique chat was the first one we did. So this is rather good. So now what we need to do is go and drop these into the appropriate place in, I think it's here, isn't it, where we invoke these in the panic room, right? So if this all works, we should be able to... Here we go. So this is where we do follower only. So we're going to put in a bunch of actions. And pardon me, we're going to do follower only mode like that. So we're basically going to copy that line out there and drop that in here, and then the same for slow mode like so, and then unique chat as well. There it is. So there we go. Those are the three that we do. We'll save that, and then the inverse of this is here, where we turn them all off. So we'll just tab that over and make these all false. Save that, and we're going to reboot the bot. Okay. Sika, thank you very much for confirming that. Thank you very much for confirming that you were unable to send messages when that subscriber mode was turned on. Thank you for your help there. And yeah, so okay, so your BUM was translates as boom. Okay. No, it's fine. I don't find it offensive. I'm gonna need to go in and tweak Twitch's word filtering to make it so it does block the stuff we don't want. But I don't mind the odd bum in the chat. So let's reboot the bot. After all, I've got a chat command called Bonk. So. Right then, so we're going to go in the panic room, which for those of you that are not subscribers and don't have ad blockers, you may see a 30-second advert. If you do see a 30-second advert, I would like for you to report that back. I don't intend to do this often. The reason it runs an advert when it goes into the panic room is that if there is actually some sort of spam raid going on, then I want to monetize all of those idiots that have just done the spamming. So that's why it's there. So I'm going to go into the panic room now, and let's see. So it's cleared the chat. I can see that. And I don't see any of the other things having run though. Bother. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Where have you all gone? Yes. So, no ads. Okay, yeah, I didn't see any of those things fire, which tells me I need to change that thing from actions to messages. Oh, man. Okay, so no adverts for anyone. Okay, well that's curious, isn't it? Okay. Oh, and also it didn't go... Hang on, we're not in... It didn't go to the panic room either. I'm not even in the... there's a whole bunch of stuff not working here. Okay, let's come out of there. And it says normal chat restored. I don't see any of the things running. I'm just going to press this panic room again. Twitch doesn't... This whole panic room thing is not working at all. The panic room is not activating correctly. That's a problem. What have I broken there? The clearing's working though, so what's going on here? Oops. Oh yeah, that's the right place. Well, there's a couple of things going wrong here. So the first thing that's working is... Oh, action. That's why. I wonder if I can call it like that. Yeah, I can, can't I? We know this. Triggered my anxiety. Toto Stash. That's interesting that you should say that, Gary. Oh, Toto Stash. I know who Toto Stash is. Is that an old friend from Canonical that's just joined the chat? Hello. Hello, how the devil are you? Haven't seen or heard from you in ages. Are you well? Right then. Okay, so this did not work as expected. So what's curious about this is it ran this action because it definitely did that. It did not. It did not turn any of this on though, did it? So it's almost like it didn't return back from there. So what's going on here? Okay, we're going to try an experiment. We're going to comment that out. We're going to reboot the bot. Little reunion there. Hey Dust, how you doing? So we'll reboot the bot and then we'll see if that's something to do with the chat message thing not working. So we're going to try and invoke the panic room and see what happens. Okay. That is indeed what seems to be the problem. Although only one of these chat things is working. What the heck? Oh, actions. Can actions only... Yep, flashing lights, no ads. I think I know what's going on here. I think I know what's going on. So I come out of the panic room. I think what's happening is this. These actions, the first one that gets called, that's... then it basically exits. It doesn't run. Oh no, because it did that one. And then it did this chat settings one. Sorry, it did this follower mode, but I'm just looking at my logs down here for the chat. And it went into follower only mode, but it didn't do any of these. And I didn't see the RGB filters get enabled or... So let's do this. We'll turn the adverts off because I'm pretty sure those will get triggered. So we'll just turn all of this off. So I'm going to have to change these to messages, and I didn't want to do that because messages don't work properly. Chat announcement. Okay, so one way around this is I create a message for each of them, a discrete message for each of them, and then use the send. So I think this is what I was wondering, what the difference between like actions and messages were, which is a feature of the Kruiz Control framework, for want of a better description. And I think I'm learning what the chat's still off for people not chatting. It shouldn't be. It should all be enabled, Luke. But I tell you what, as we've got the power, let's just go through each of our commands here, and we'll do. I'll just do this and make sure that emote. Well, I know that's off. That didn't actually do anything. So I wonder if it didn't do anything because there was nothing to do. So yeah, I'm not seeing any of these. Trying to fix your OS. That's the one of the benefits of running Linux, I suppose. So to answer your question, Dust, I'm okay, thank you. I'm experimenting, or rather implementing, some stuff with Kruiz Control. So trying to implement bits of the Twitch API in Kruiz Control, so that I can control chat settings from a chatbot. And I think what I've learned is I can't use actions if I need to call things many times. I need to use the messages capability, and I did wonder why there were two similar things, and I think I've learned that the first custom action you use, that eats everything. Yeah, so Dust, I was doing it in Atom, but I'm trying to get it all integrated here in one chatbot to do everything. So yeah, I've just got to the point where I need a bit more flexibility over what I'm doing in some of the bits and pieces. So yeah, okay, so if I'm going to change all of this, so we know all of these worked. Let's just do unique chat on and off again, just to make sure that all the processing. So unique chat, so that should, maybe we should call that unique only now. Let's leave it as it is. I'm not going to reboot the bot just yet. So that did in fact turn it on, and now I'm going to turn it off again. That's unique chat on, Martin. That's what we need to do. Okay, so that works, but if I've just turned it off and I try and turn it off again, okay, so that's not an error, it just knows there's nothing to be done. Okay, right. I really didn't want to do this. Oh, I wonder if it's because it's calling this multiple times and it's using the same API. Huh. Okay, let's call this, let's take this, let's try a different solution to this problem. Let's try this. We'll call this unique chat, and we'll just take the state. So we'll do that, copy that out of there. So what I'm thinking is this actions may still work, but it's using the common API name is actually breaking it. So, Pyrus, you're on a Debian laptop. And MX on the desktop. Okay. Gary says, this is weird. They have a way to randomly run an action out of a group, but not all every. At least that's what I'm seeing. So I think, Gary, it's because I was calling this one here, chat settings, multiple times. And I'm doing this API clear here. So I think it's like these are non-blocking calls. So I think what's happening is that it calls one which runs to conclusion, and then the others are then wiping each other out as they get called each time. So what I'm doing is going to implement them all discreetly and change these names here so that they can't well, I suppose it's a kind of race condition that I'm trying to avoid here. It's a bit of a shame because it kind of means I'm got a lot of repeated code, but you know, it's not a proper language. We'll just go with what we get here. So now we only need one thing to be passed in. So at this point it could be a message as well. So if it turns out that actions are the issue after these changes, because there's only one parameter coming in, which is the state, I could change it to a message, because messages only take one input, which is a data payload. So we'll take that, we will copy this, and we will drop this here. We've got a bunch of changes we need to make. So this is going to be, let's just paste that in there. This is going to be called unique chat, like so. So unique chat true, unique chat false. So that should work, and I suppose the sensible thing to do would be actually to drop that one out of the code and test it. So if I change the action, changing chat mode, this is the generic thing. In fact, I could do it, could do it like this for this one. Like so. Right. Let's go to here. And we'll change this, we'll leave those on, and then this one obviously changes to unique chat. I suppose this actually reads a little bit more clearly, so there is that advantage, I suppose. So maybe I don't hate this. So given that we were seeing these two fail to run, we should still see unique chat mode go on and off. At least that's the hope, and if it doesn't, we'll change them to a message. So let's give it a go. Let's reboot the robot and we'll try entering the panic room again. That's not running all the way through. So it did do follower only mode, and then it stopped there. What? That's weird. Because Well, let's just look at the code for that. What? So we went to the panic room, and it displayed this. It turned the lights on. It displayed all of that. It displayed all of the what it's going to do. It turned follower mode on and didn't do anything after. Okay, let's try this then. Let's comment those two out. Leave that one turned on, and then going back the other way, we'll leave these two commented out. Let's see if the whole thing runs correctly now. So let's give that a go. And right, we'll drop into the panic room, and no. So it did turn unique chat mode on this time, but it still didn't get past. Okay, right, we're turning it into messages then. I don't know why this is the way it is, but that's what we're going to do. So we're now going to go back here, and we'll make these messages. So unique chat, which simply on message is what we'll do. We'll change that to data, and I mean, I could. That should be fine, right? So that's going to be on message, and this needs to be message send, and message send. So let's change the bot to the same thing. So instead of action, we're going to do message send, or this is turning things off. So we want a message send there instead of an action. And maybe I'll change the way the announcements work so that we only need to send one parameter as well, just to simplify things, and move that back to messages. Right, let's give this a reboot. And then we'll try visiting the panic room again. There we go. And that turned on, so that has worked in that it's intentionally a reduced set. So that did everything it was meant to, and I had the running the commercial commented out. So let's go and turn everything into messages. So let's go and implement everything as a message. So unique chat is now going to get control. That. Okay. Right then. Let's do take this. Drop that there. So this is going to be called subscriber chat, and we'll just copy that in here. Make sure this API name, label, whatever they are, I'm not quite sure, are not going to name collide with any of the other events. And let's think now, we want to change this from an action to message send, like so. So let's do all of those things. There we go, managed to save it. So if I reboot, this one we don't use in the panic room, so I should just be able to test this. Pyrus, you like that? Yeah, I'm trying to give this little bot a bit of personality. I will break it out eventually to run in its own account. And my idea is that the bot hates me. So I'm going to try and add some snark to all of the bot commentary. So let's give that a bonk, and then we'll do subscribers only, and that has turned it on, and I'll very quickly turn that off again. Okay, that is off again. That worked. So we'll just put in a couple of aliases here, because I'm probably going to forget in the future. So we'll just do the non-plural subscriber only off. There we go. So that works. And we'll carry this over to the next one. So I think what we now know is this general chat settings one we're not going to use. So we'll get rid of that. And slow. So we'll call this one slow chat. We'll rename all of these. What's this, Paul? So, random rant. Okay. How does Ubuntu/GNOME not have a way to change laptop lid behavior in the settings GUI? Some of us connect to external displays and would like to work in clamshell mode without the laptop suspending when we close the lid. Interesting. So I know Popey uses his computer exactly like that, but he uses KDE. But you make a good point. I didn't know that setting was missing. I know there's a bunch of power related options hidden behind what's it hidden behind? G settings and deconf. You know, they're not exposed in the, well, they could be exposed in the UI. I might not know where they are, but I know there's a bunch of power toggles you can access through deconf settings. Right, where was I? I was changing this API label name to slow chat. And instead of subscriber mode, this is going to be slow mode. Okay, the Twitch API failed processing. Slow chat. Okay. This is now going to change to message send. Slow chat false, like that, I think. Okay, there we go. So, have we done all of the right things there? I think so. Technically, we could get rid of this variable assignment here and just punch data in there. Which I might do, given that we're going down this. So there's the slow chat version. So it's time to give it a knock on the head. Ah, as Phil found it. Have you got the answer, Phil? So Paul asks if Mate has a setting that does what he says, and yes, it does. It has a what to do when I close the lid of my laptop. Do nothing, suspend, power off, or ask, I think, are the options. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's learn together. I would just bring the power management GUI down here. So on AC power, put the computer to sleep when. Oh, this is not a laptop, so it doesn't have the tab for what to do when the lid closes. But I'm pretty sure it has a tab. If you have a laptop, it has a tab in there and does the right thing. Right then, where was I? Right, we've rebooted the laptop. So let's try invoking slow mode by doing slow. Okay, that tells me slow mode has come on, so we'll now turn slow off. Okay, good. And what I will do is I will now create some aliases here. Slow chat. Because there is every possibility I will never remember these. There we go. So that's all fine. So now we're going to do follower. So we'll grab this, repeat and rinse. Follower chat. Whoop. Get rid of the typo there. Right. Let's think. We'll just copy this. We'll drop this into all the API places. Rename these labels. Yeah. So I don't know if Popey's still here, but I know Popey has recently taken delivery of an M1 Mac of some description and sent me a couple of cheeky videos of look how amazing this stuff is, and it's like, yeah, I know it's amazing. If I use it too much, that'll be it. You'll never see me doing Linuxy stuff again. So yeah. Right, okay, so follower mode is what it's called. Processing follower chat. Okay. We'll change all of this stuff now then to something like this. Message send follower chat false, and then we'll just make that one true. So I don't think we use emote only, so I think if we save that, go here, is that the same song again? I think it is, isn't it? Let's skip that. There we go. Oh, that's commands I could add. I could add commands. Oh, can I do this? Yes, it's a bit of an unusual thing, but I could add commands that you can control the music. That's all doable. It's very fast responding now, this thing. It's great. If I whiff my mouse into the sensitive area, it just hides all that stuff. So, follower mode. There we go. Follower chat true. And what's this one going to be? This one's going to be the same, but it's going to be slow chat, right? And we take all three of those and drop them down here. There we go. So that should process now. We've got one action. I'm going to get rid of that a bit later because I'm now deeply suspicious about how actions work or should work. But those are the only places I have those, I think. So let's do a reboot. And we're going to try going to if I still got the advert turned off, hopefully I have. Yeah, the commercial is disabled. So it's going to say it's going to play a commercial. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's not confuse the situation. Let's turn that off. So we're going to go, in fact, we're going to reboot the robot again. There we go. And we'll go to the panic room. And I see the announcement. It's put it in follower mode, it's put it in slow mode, and it's put it in unique chat mode. So all defenses are indeed up right now. Yes, it should be working. Nobody, other than moderators, you should not be able to spam the chat with more than one message every 30 seconds. And you shouldn't be able to duplicate messages. And you have to be followers in order to post at all. So that is the panic room. And that appears to be doing the right thing. I'm going to turn that off now. So let's disable the panic room, and normal chat is restored, except it didn't do the inverse of all of these things. So it's disabled unique chat, and that was the only one. So let me just go and look at the code. I might have to that's why the others didn't run. I've got the wrong status in there, so I'm going to have to run those by hand now. There we go. So the follower mode I've disabled. And what was the other one? Slow. Oh. Okay, right. It should all be back to normal. Right, I'm going to do that one last time. So we're going to... what have we got over here? Why isn't that saved? We're going to reboot the bot again. Oh, infinite loop averted. Yeah, so there we go. Rebooted, and we're going to go into the panic room. I'm going to do this from the chat command. Hey, Big Calm, how you doing? So we're in the thing. It's turned on follower only mode. It's slow chat, unique chat. All of these things are enabled. And we will now do the inverse of this, and we will put it out of the panic room. And it has turned the follower mode off, the slow mode off, and the unique chat. There we go. It has actually done all of the things it was meant to do. That's terrific. Okay. This is working. So I think what I'm going to do now is, because I don't trust this action to work, I'm going to stop processing that. We'll change this to data. That's doing the right thing. We'll do that. And instead of on action, we will do a message send. Redeemed wow. Is it wow because it worked finally? Right then. Let's just go and change that in the up here. So instead of action, we'll do that. Which also means I don't need to do that now. Okay. And the inverse of that is up here. And we also don't need to load... Oh. There's my delete chat messages, which I also probably need to change, don't I? So, okay. let's go and do this thing. Let's change this one as well. Wrong place. So we've got somewhere down here, we've got the delete chat history, which is an action. And there it is, here it is here. We're going to change this. Again, we don't need that. Get rid of that. Oh, there's no payload for this. Okay, fine. So we'll do that. We'll get rid of that. We'll change that from an action to a message send. This does the right thing. There's no payload. So message send, delete chat messages. That should be something we can now call from over here. Like so. So now everything's a message and there are no actions. And that makes a bit of sense when you read the code. So let's go full bore. Sorry for those of you that might see an advert, but we're just going to put the whole thing into full operation again. Nothing here should clear the chat, that's fine. I do clear the chat somewhere else though, so I do that when the stream comes up. So if I've been messing around, it's hopefully cleared the stream up. So that should be there. Well, this API test is now irrelevant. There it is. When we do bringing the stream up, so we'll now do that. Delete. So that's a message sends, that's correct, and that's a message send. So they're the only instances of those are there. Okay. Right, okay. So Big Com, you ask a very good question. I'm not sure it is a language exactly, but it's a framework called Kruiz Control to automate OBS, Twitch integrations, create chatbots and all of that sort of stuff. And this is its syntax for expressing those things. So very niche. It's not really a language. It's very peculiar, but actually turns out you can get quite a lot done with it. So what we've been doing is implementing parts of the Twitch API like so. Let's just get rid of that. So we can call things. Yeah, it's quite readable. The way that it tends to be presented is without the indentation. I've chosen to do the indenting so that it doesn't look ridiculous. It does look readable, so that'll be, you know, a bit of Python influence, you know. So I'm going to reboot the robot and we are going to try going into the panic room, and some of you may see an advert. I didn't see the chat get cleared, so that's not working, and I didn't see it run an advert. So something's not right. Chat still here, yep, and no ads. Okay, so let's return to normal operation. That bit's working, but why the heck did the other things not work? Message send, delete chat messages. Ah. Well, that's the first reason why. On message. Okay. So that's why that didn't work. Let's go and look at the one that runs a commercial. On message. So that should run like so. How have I managed to break this? I'm sure the commercial bit actually worked earlier. Did we not see that work? Right, let's think. Transition to the panic room. Message send, commercial 30. Yes. Unless that has to be that. Don't see that that's going to make a difference. We saw the text, but not the ad itself. Oh, we didn't see this. Oh my gosh. The announcement stopped working as well. Okay, have I forgotten to change that? So the announcement. Let's see, here it is. On action. So that should be on message as well now. On message and data. Okay, let's try a couple of things. Let's reboot the robot. Right then, we will do an announce. Right then, that does the right thing. Okay, so we've got that hooked up correctly. I do apologize. Some of you will see a 30-second advert. That's only so I can test that this is actually working. Nope, that failed. That failed. Okay. I thought we'd seen that work, but okay. So, Paul says peanut butter and chocolate spread sandwiches for lunch, because apparently I'm 8. Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with a peanut butter sandwich. Okay. So, why the heck has the commercial thing stopped working? Let's see if we can identify what's wrong with that, because I'm sure that at one point we had that work. And I haven't touched this the whole time we've been playing around. So, on message commercial. Load variables. Okay. Broadcast to Twitch user ID. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I can do this. Get rid of that. API channels commercial. Okay, that's definitely not being used by any of the others. And it's definitely on message. Ah, yes, message send commercial. Well now, what's causing that not to work, I wonder? Why is that not working? Well, let's give it another go. Let's reboot. And wait for that to come back. Maybe I need to wait for the certificate to no, because this one doesn't use the refreshing token. Okay, well, let's give it another try. If this works, sort of sorry not sorry, because No, that failed. Okay. Well, I'm going to take that one away as homework. I can't test this whilst I'm offline, but also it's not the most important thing, but I'm sure this worked earlier. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. I just get success or error. I mean, there are ways to provide more debug logs, and you can turn that on and log it into the OBS logs, so I will probably do that. But I think that one, I don't want to sit here and potentially run adverts endlessly whilst I try and debug that one. What is working though is all the other stuff, which is good. So there was one other which was timeout, so let's just see how complex the timeout one looks. Ban a user. Timeout, untimeout. Okay. So what have we got here? A user ID and a reason. The duration. What is the default? It says it's not required. So does that just time them out indefinitely? So what do I need? It's a user access token. It's the broadcaster and the moderator ID. So again, I can do that so it's only me. So we do need to send a user, so we need to send two parameters. Okay. I don't think I'm going to tackle that one now. Yeah, okay, Phil. Catch you later. So, oh, actually, Gary, you raise a good point. Have I accidentally run enough adverts that I'm unable to run adverts at them? No, I shouldn't get an API error though. It should just not work. Okay, let's have a little think. Where on earth do you even run adverts from in the dashboard? Follower only. So actually some of these things I've got in the dashboard I can remove because I've got other options. Oh gosh, the go live notification was wrong. Oh, and all of that is wrong in fact. Okay. Clip that. I don't even have run an advert thing in the set up in my dashboard. See you, Noob of the Linux. Bye for now. There's an ads manager panel. Oh, okay, I just don't have that turned on by the looks of it. I don't think that's something I'm going to mess with right now either. I will look into these things, but the only reason that I want that commercial one to work is when I start the stream, I have it run whilst the drop game is running. It runs 3 minutes of adverts, I think 2 minutes of adverts at the start of the stream, and the reason for that is that that's when like people are joining. They tend to be the regulars, most of whom, you know, subscribe and what have you, so they don't see the ads anyway. And it then means that when new people find the stream, like within the first half an hour, they don't immediately get punched in the face with an advert because I've done a bunch of pre-roll adverts. So that's the only reason why I want the commercial thing to work. And it's a bit frustrating that it's not, and I can't see why, because I thought we ran it earlier and it did work, but maybe I've run it enough times that it's just not triggering an advert. But it shouldn't make the API give a fail. Or should it? I mean, is that a failure condition? I requested an advert and one didn't play. Is that a failure? A failure mode? Not sure. Let's try one last time. But I should be able to run an advert whenever I want. I'm not into running adverts, but as a broadcaster, if I wanted to just run adverts every 5 minutes, surely it's in Twitch's interest to allow me to do that if that's something the viewers are prepared to tolerate, you'd have thought. So there shouldn't be any cap on running ads. Ah, I didn't get an API fail this time, running it manually. So are there people who have seen an advert? Let's just ask the question. Ah, Tailored Dev, you saw a video. Yeah, so Big Calm, you may not see an ad because you joined relatively recently. And there's this whole, I mean, I don't fully understand how it works, but ad done. Okay. Tailored Dev, so that sounds about right if Tailored Dev saw an advert. I'm going to try and run another one, because if what we suspect is going on here, I should get an API failure. There it is, failed to run. So there we go. There is some kind of limit on how frequently you can run them, and that comes back as a failure condition. Huh. That's not helpful. But okay. So like I said, 99% sure. Guess it's 110% now. So I think I missed some of the nuance of what you were saying. To track how you can schedule. I wonder if I can try and add this thing. Edit stream manager panels. Is that what I want to do? Oh, here we go. Ads manager. Okay. Ads manager, you can go here. Okay, I've got a button to run a 30-second advert in this thing, whatever this thing is. Running 30 seconds manually will remove the upcoming adverts. And what's this telling me? Doesn't make any sense though. Why is it via the API? If I request to run an ad, I get a fail. See you, Ian. I hope you're able to stop by Discord and check out what we're doing with playing racing games at the weekend. It would be lovely to get the band back together. I think we're probably going to have a go at Hot Shot Racing, but we'll see who wants to play and what games they've got available. It'll either be Hot Shot Racing or Trackmania, I imagine. So let's see how we get on. Right, I'm gonna try that API thing one more time. Yep, that failed again, as you can see, because it says so in chat. So I wonder why that is. I'm gonna try something obnoxious. I'm sorry if this affects you. I'm going to try and run a 60-second commercial and see what happens. No, that failed too. Okay, Gary, what do you think's going on here then? There must be a limit as to how often you can invoke an advert through the API. So I'll make that assumption for now, and then maybe I'll go and do some reading. Yeah, so 30 seconds ad is worth 10 minutes of no pre-rolls, so you'll have to wait 10 minutes to be able to run the next ad. Okay, I'm now going to click the run 30 seconds ad in the ad manager, alright? If anyone sees an advert, please type in chat and let me know that you've seen an advert. We're just trying to figure out, like, is the API rate limited? If it is, we can add a variable to the to the actions in Kruiz Control to basically say, no, you've run an ad. Oh, well, then we'll have to calculate. Oh god, it's possible though. It's doable. Ah, here we go. No, I get an error in the ad manager. It says the ad failed to run because the channel recently ran a commercial and is on cooldown. I've got 3 minutes 30 seconds left. Okay, this is brilliant. Okay, Gary, you're right. There is. You can't just keep running them endlessly. So you have to wait for the cooldown period on the ads to finish. So maybe there is an API request that I can use to go and see if the ads are on cooldown. And if they are on cooldown, I can prevent calling an ad run and just echo out somewhere that, or put in the logs, you need to wait. Okay, that's good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm happier with that, at least. Okay, right then. So if we just take a look at this stuff. Oh, here's the start a commercial reference. What does this say here? Okay. I wonder if we can evaluate these response codes. Here we go. So we probably need to catch this bad request and grab the retry after. Okay, alright, well, as an MVP, that is sufficient, I think. Okay, alright. Learned a thing. Right. Let me just bring up my code. So, did we get everything working? Other than the timeout, which we haven't implemented yet, which I think is a thing for another day, we have got all of the basic primitives taken care of. Okay. And they're all messages again, and they all take one parameter. But the timeout will need to not do that. It'll need to take stuff. Okay, I'll need two parameters, the user and the length of the timeout. Okay, but all this stuff is working, and I should probably get rid of these things. Oh, hang on, we've got a little curiosity there. Hello, how did that happen? We're offset. Have I done that everywhere? So, I think for the adverts, I wonder if we go and look at API send in the docs, if we can see if we can get the response code back. Let's have a quick look. API related stuff. Oh, did I missed it. Here we go. API send. Yeah, thought so. If the call succeeds and returns no data, this will be success. If the call fails, this will be an error. Okay, I might need to inquire. That doesn't actually give me much information. Oh, it's just API data. If the call fails, this will be okay. Okay, well, I'm not sure that's got enough to go on. Still, it is an improvement in that I actually have most of that implemented now, so that's good. Right, let's just take a little looky. Who's What's going on? Ah, there we go. Let's do a drop in over here. Okay. Oh, hello. Where did that go? Oh, gosh. Okay, there we go. We're all set. So, thank you all for coming, everyone. Drop into our Discord to figure out what the game schedule is and if you want to join in with that. We are all going to head over to see White Panther now. Catch you very soon. I'm hoping to stream this weekend more than once, hopefully. So, bye-bye for now.